Yesterday, Katherine Jackson won custody of Michael Jackson's children, but his former dermatologist, Arnold Klein, entered a plea asking for his own visitation for the kids, saying he had promised Michael to ensure the well-being of the children. So, things seem to be moving along. I know that they have provided, through the estate, money for Katherine to take care of the children. It wasn't as much as they had requested, but there is some there. But the curious thing is really the Arnie Klein.
And also, Katherine, the mother, is saying that she doesn't believe he died of natural causes, and there's an implication that there was foul play in her statement.
I heard somewhere, and I don't know if this is a true joy, that she has the result of the autopsy. Did you hear that?
No, but I think
but it hasn't been released. Yeah. Of course, the thing with Arnie Klein is, whom you knew and I knew, and was a very good, and probably, I don't know whether he's still practicing, but he was a very good dermatologist. When he talks about vaguely interest, then comes the question of whose sperm was it, and that Debbie Rowe had. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what
and
you're
he's sort of been a little mysterious. He says, no, it wasn't his, but then he has these special interests.
What special interests?
Well, that's what we don't know.
That's what we don't know. But with Michael's children, it gets even more complicated, because in Martin Bashir's famous interview with Michael that aired on English Granada television back in 2003, Michael himself insists that he is the biological dad of his children. Take a look.
What you've just said is that your wife gave you 2 children as a present because she knew you wanted to be a father.
Yeah, that's a lovely gesture.
Well, it's an incredible gesture.
Yeah, there are surrogate mothers who do that every day. That happens every day in the world.
Is that how,
it's happening right now.
Is that how Blanket was born as well?
I used a surrogate mother, or my own sperm cells. I had my own sperm cells in my other 2 children. They're all my children, but I used a surrogate mother, and she doesn't know me, I don't know her.
Well, the surrogate mother was the woman, the wife, of course, is Debbie Rowe.
Right.
The surrogate mother is the woman who's never been named. And the interview went on, and Martin Bashir said, would you have conceived a child with a black woman? He said, of course. And Bashir said, but I've seen Blanket, and I think it's safe to say his mother's probably right. And he said, no, you're wrong.
His mother's probably white.
That his mother is probably white.
Right.
And Michael Jackson said, no, you're wrong. And he said, but Blanket is so light. And he said black people were called colored people because we come in all colors, from very white as my hand to very dark in the dark of your shirt. My father has blue eyes, you know. And when they see Paris, they think of Debbie, but that could easily be my father's genes, you know.
The other children are quite white also, right?
Light.
Well, according,
very light skin.
Very light skin.
According to what he said, Debbie was the mother and he was the father. Yeah. And in the case of Blanket, the youngest, he is saying, I indeed am the father, but I won't tell you who the surrogate mother was. Isn't that it?
It makes me think of, you know, when Paris was at that memorial, whether Michael Jackson is or isn't, she said he was the best daddy that anybody could ever have. You know.
And the other thing is that we must also keep in mind that she may not have been a white woman. She could have been Filipino, Hawaiian, she could have been Japanese, she could have been any number of things. And we, you know, the funny thing about black folks is that we can have a child that does not look like it's supposed to be anywhere in our family. My daughter came out and she was yellow, and what does she look like? An old, you know how you see those in the black and white pictures, you see the old Chinese people? That's what Alex looked like. And what it turned out was that way in the family, there are white people, there are Chinese people in my family, there's a couple of Russians. You don't know what you're going to get sometimes with us. So, you know.
That's true. But if you study genetics at all, they say that the black gene, whatever you want to call it, is a dominant gene.
That's what they say,
so that if you put,
Alex.
you can have a recessive gene. I think it's 1 out of 4 will be a recessive.
Right, like the blue eyes. But you know
that
they have, somebody asked just Katherine Jackson how the children were, and she said they're doing fine, they're having fun. But, you know, you wonder, is all of this being kept from them? They don't hear any of this, especially the older ones. I mean, these poor
I hope they can shield him as much as they possibly can.
Well, he certainly tried to. The problem is now that the rest of the world isn't really making the attempt to do so. And that and also what protections did he put in place for them should something like this happen? I think most parents want to ensure that should, God forbid, anything happen to them, that their kids are protected.
Well, that's why he left them to his mother.
To me, all of these adults are suspect right now because this guy is very valuable in death, more than he was when he was alive, like Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley. And everybody's trying to get a piece of the action. So I really would be suspicious of every adult.
You're right. There are movies being made. His concert tours being sold by AEG. You know, everything that they say now it could be $100 million. And who controls that?
Who indeed? We know who doesn't control it. None of us. We will be right back with what we can control with even more hot topics. My breasts are heaving. First of all, happy birthday to President Barack Obama. Today is his birthday, okay? And he still says he will not raise taxes on the middle class, despite his Treasury Secretary's comment over the weekend that he wouldn't rule that one out.
Does that mean that people under 250 who make less than 250,000?
Well, I think what Barack is saying is he is not planning to do that. He doesn't know what Tim Geithner's talking about, but he's not planning to do it. I think that's what he's saying.
It's 250 sometimes.
It may be, but it is what Barack Obama has said from the beginning. That is how he feels, regardless of what Tim Geithner is saying. That's, I think, what's happening.
What's a little confusing is sometimes it's been 250, sometimes it's been 350. But what he has implied is that if you make over $1 million, the taxes will be raised.
Sure.
At least that's what he...
There's already been a tobacco tax, which is, what, 65 cents on a pack, which essentially, he said none of your taxes would go up, but that essentially does aim at the majority of those with low-income households. Number two, I think that there's a...
That kind of a tax, that's called a sin tax.
Well, I also think I'm only saying what he said and promised and what's happening now. And I also think it's a major problem to have your Treasury Secretary of the Treasury and also Larry Summers come out and say they're not going to rule out this tax, and then the president say, no, it actually is ruled out. They better get their act together and figure it out.
I'm sure they will.
I'm glad because I was looking at TV and they were saying that the S&P is up 1,000, NASDAQ is up 2,000. People are starting to invest again. They're starting to, put the economy is going. Real estate sales are up 5 months straight because before 9 months ago we were like in the hole. So I'm glad things are looking up.
No, the clunkers, the cars. If you have your bad car, that's what she said.
So would you like to wish him a happy birthday anyway?
Happy birthday, but please figure out how you're going to pay for this $1 trillion health care plan.
Well, you know what? While he's trying to figure out that, I'm just loving that the real estate is going up. I'm loving that people are putting their money back in. I'm loving that we're...
Let's take
jobs.
it... No, you haven't seen jobs, but things have gotten a little better, and you got to give that to him. But Bill Clinton, speaking of a president, is in North Korea to negotiate the release of journalists Laura Ling and Yuna Lee. Is he the right person to be sending over there? Because remember, when Hillary was running, everyone was very concerned that her husband would get involved with certain things. But now she's the Secretary of State, and Bill Clinton is, in fact, involved doing something.
But he was asked to.
Right. But that's not the point. The point was people were pointing out and saying, well, we don't want the Clinton team. Remember? They were saying we don't...
the value of having Bill Clinton.
Now, because she isn't president. But I'm saying, we made a lot of poop over that. I'm doing that for you,
He did come up during the election. I think he's got an absolute gift, and I think if anyone can get over there and make something happen, I think it's him. I mean, he'll probably come back with everybody that we need. I mean,
people that we don't even want Clinton coming back with.
He'll negotiate.
I think that if I was part of the Ling family or the Lee family, I would want the best person. And he is in this case.
Yeah, they have a lot of respect for him. This is always always been very clear. So our fingers are crossed for.
It's a terrible thing that happened to those girls.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And we wish them well.
And we want to say once more to young people who think that, and these people were there on an assignment and so on, but young people who are traveling in countries in which we have no relations,
know where you're going.
Know where you're going, because there's not always a Bill Clinton, there's not always this possibility, and it's very scary, especially in summer when kids are traveling.
Yes,
you know, we want to make note, we lost a fabulous woman.
The first black supermodel, Naomi Sims.
Yes.
She passed away at 61.
Look at that, yes.
And I love Naomi Sims because she created the Naomi Sims collection, which was wigs for black women.
Yes.
So thank you,
She was
Naomi
fabulous.
Sims.
But now, to take us to a lighter, happier place, Sherry's got some good news. And she's not pregnant.
No, but everybody...
She's being good. She's
Yes,
not
thank
having
you.
sex.
That would be immaculate conception. Whoa.
That's what you say.
Whoa.
That's what you say. But you got to get to it.
I just want to say that my show called Sherry, which is my sitcom on Lifetime, we just casted some really wonderful people. Malcolm Jamal Warner will be guest starring as my husband, Theo, and the role of my father will be played by James Avery, who was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I'm very excited. Malcolm, Jamal Warner.
I think you should have had a white father. Frankly, myself.
And just so you know, James Avery...
cast a single guy. Is he married?
Is Malcolm Jamal Warner married? No, he's single. He is single.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all I have to say.
You know what?
Playing.
We're leaving.